there is such just such a beauty in suffering. And when I say that, I don't say that to mean like in a depressing way or anything like that. I'm not saying that, or to discredit anything you're going through. But the thing about it is suffering. It not only does it breed, it forces you to tap into yourself. Because if you don't, then it's just going to be more and more suffering. So it literally forces you to tap into yourself. And thing about it is every problem that you have, somebody there's literally somebody who has that same issue. If not, somebody has already went through it. So you're not alone, for one. That's one thing you got to remember, man. Like throughout this whole process, like, yes, bro, it sucks. It's a struggle. Like suffering is something that's not easy for anybody. But thing about it is alone as you feel, you're never alone. Because like I said, it's a lot of people out here that you don't realize are going through the same thing as you. And that's one thing that I had to realize as well when I was going through that suffering stage. I mean, right now I kind of still am in it, but I'm towards more the end part, and I'm kind of enjoying it more than the sad part of it, like the first little half. But from what I learned is, you know, you can learn a lot from other people and how they endured their suffering. Like, for instance, I really don't remember bro name, but it's this dude I watched, and there was a video about it, and he really talked. It kind of resonated with me because he was in a similar position. Like, he lost himself, didn't really know what he wanted, or like he didn't know who he was, basically. And it caused him to go into kind of isolation because he lost himself. And I can kind of relate to that because right now, like, I'm not really an extroverted type person, but I'm also not just a hermit. But I'm not really the type to go out and stuff like that. But it's been points in my life, and even right now, it's like isolation is a factor. And when you're suffering along with isolation, you have literally just two choices. Either you endure it and learn to enjoy the pain you're going through, so that way when you're finally out of this stage, because nothing in life, like I said, is forever. So literally the fact that you're even living is a symbol that nothing is forever, because you're not going to live forever. But you have, well, like I said, two choices. So you either take that path of resistance and you just go straight through the storm like a buffalo. Yeah, like a buffalo when they sense storms coming. Or you could be like a cow and you could just run away from all the suffering. But the thing is, just like anything in life and just like your fears, running away from any type of problem, issue, whether it be a courage thing or anything, what you're doing is, like I said before, because life is just like a game, you're just delaying the mission. You're delaying the inevitable, because you're going to have to either get through that situation, or you're going to be stuck, or even fall down even worse. So it's like you really only have one option, and that's get through it. Because if you don't, I mean, do you even really want to go there? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but at the end of the day, you just have to learn to enjoy it. And that comes with, it really just comes with training your mind to stay ready for suffering. Because that's one thing I like about David Goggins, and that I like implementing into my life is on a daily basis, is things that I hate doing. Not things that are like detrimental to me, but like things that I know would benefit my mind. If I do it, it'll make me mentally stronger. But it's like I hate to do it. Like, for instance, running. Today, man, when I tell you I hate running, like, I'm an avid person that hates running, like, with all my soul. Like, it's different, like, running, long distance running, I should say, because sprinting, I do sprinting and stuff. Like, I love sprinting because I mean it's quick bursts and I could do that. But every time, like all my life when it came to long distance, I hated it because it's just I'd always get shin splints and it's mentally tough. It's way more mentally challenging to run long distance than to sprint real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because you know it's gonna be over fast. But that long distance, you like, dang, I'm finna have to endure this. So I always hated it. Even in this like point in my life right now, I'm very fit, but I still hate it. And just like this morning, I got up and I made myself run like 2 miles. And I've never done that. Like, never have I, outside of baseball or anything, ran I don't even think a mile and a half on my own and just made myself do it. But that's what comes with when you harden your mind and things like that. When you do things that is rough on your mind that you know will better yourself, but you know it sucks to go through, then you literally prepare yourself for any moment that life throws at you. Because think about life is just like my dad said, it's in waves. And that's because, like I said, nothing is forever. Feelings, anything, emotions, moments, situations, nothing is forever. So when you think about that, yes, you might be at the point where the wave is coming crashing in. That's the suffering. But like I said, since it's like waves, after that crash happens, it's the calm part. And that's where the happiness comes from because you've endured all of that suffering. But like I said, that just taking you to the next level because life is going to throw another challenge at you. So you have to mentally not only prepare for suffering, but you have to learn to dig yourself out of your own grave, basically. Like you have to learn to love to be in hell. Like, because if you don't, you will never, if you can't challenge yourself mentally, how are you going to be able to protect your family if a certain situation pops up? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to make yourself mentally ready and prepared for any type of suffering that life throws at you. Because it's always going to throw suffering, pain, situations, unexpected events. It's always going to throw it at you. No excuse. Just like sunshine and rainbows and sunshine and rain and storm is always going to be here. Same thing with life. It's always going to move in waves. Right after that up, it's going to be a down. Then after that down, it's going to be a up. That is how it is. And you just have to learn to train yourself to endure that. And you just got to be able to not look too far ahead, but also be able to know that this suffering is not going to be forever. Because think about any moment you had in your past. Like, for instance, me, a good example, man. Oh, my God. This was one of the worst moments of my life. So, my freshman year, high school, we had a baseball game. I was playing left field. And, bro, well, that's the backstory of the scar. But, bro, basically, the dude that was hitting, he hit the ball, right? And I seen it. As I seen it go, I was like, dang, he really crushed that. So I turn and I'm running, right, as fast as I can. Then, boom, out of nowhere, I hit the fence. My mouth, all of that, half my tooth gone, bloodied up. And, you know, what I learned from that is that month, like that whole month that I suffered was like one of the worst months. I couldn't eat certain things. I had a nerve hanging out of my tooth for 2.5 weeks. Freaking air touched that, bro. When air touched it, it felt like freaking hell. But, you know, it just, thinking back to that, it's like, dang, in that moment, I never thought that would end. But looking back at it, it's like, wow, like I really went through that rough patch in my life. Like going to school, I could barely talk because my mouth is swole from running into a dang fence. So it just, and I lost like 10 pounds in a week because I couldn't really eat like that. Like I said, I had a nerve hanging out. But long story short, like I said, that just showed me the power of suffering, because after that, I learned to endure so much, like so much pain. And that's not the only situation. I had another surgery that, really 2 more surgeries that very painful and hard to endure. And oh my gosh. But You know, suffering, it breeds growth. And since suffering is inevitable, just as every emotion is, like I said, you have to learn to endure it and live with it and become the suffering. You have to become the pain. Don't let the pain get to you. You have to become the pain. Because once you do that, can't nobody stop you. If you can endure any type of suffering on a daily basis and push your mind to the limit and really challenge your mind on a daily basis, I promise you nothing is going to stop you. Nothing will. So just remember that, it's beauty in suffering. This moment ain't gonna last. This rough patch ain't gonna last. So then just enjoy it while you can, because, once you on the other side of this mountain and you really reaping all the benefits, you're gonna think back to these moments and you're gonna really appreciate them. So just enjoy it while you got it. And with that being said, y'all be blessed. I love y'all. Stay appreciative and grateful. And Trey out.